It is November 12th. It's about 3:15 in the afternoon. And if you've been paying any attention to what I've been doing lately, you'll know that I'm probably off to shoot a sunset right now. If you noticed this morning, the sunrise was spectacular throughout the entire Southern California area. And I was watching those clouds all day, hoping that they wouldn't go away. Fortunately for me and you, they did not. And I'm looking right now at probably one of the best sunset shots that I've got so far, especially over Castaic Lake. I'm going to a part of Castaic that I've never been to before. I have to hike in there, and I've only got about an hour to get there and set up. Okay, I've driven as far as I can go. I'm going to hike in the rest of the way. That's a really nice shot of Castaic Lake. The clouds are still looking good. I'm going to be kind of in this area here. And west is that way. About somewhere that way. Right about here. Still looking good, even now. Even now it looks good, and we're still well over an hour till the colors are going to start to change. I'm loving it. This is really, really good. This may be one of my new favorite locations, especially when there's clouds. I'm trying to decide now if I want my composition to be 2/3 water and 1/3 sky, or vice versa. And I think it all depends on what this sunset's going to do, because it's always going to be changing. It's going to be hard for me to expose this, but you can just see here it's going to come down in this open area. You know I like those shots. And then it'll settle just down here. But there's a lot of broken stuff there, and all of this up here we hope is going to turn like a magenta or a pink, some kind of really cool looking color. And I'll have about a 3-minute window to get as many shots as I can of that. But there's the scene. There's the lake. I was also thinking possibly of getting some of these trees in the foreground, but there is a light breeze, and if they move during the shot, that's going to f everything up, you know what I mean? I don't know if you've probably heard of the rule of thirds. And, you know, it's a good guideline. I was earlier thinking, do I want to be, you know, 30% up here, 70% down there, blah, blah, blah. But I think I'm going to actually split it right down the middle, and I have a good reason to do this. If you see where the lens flare is from the sun, if I move this camera around, you'll see lens flare. See it? It's on the water right now. And if the lens flare is on the water, that's a lot easier for me to clean it up in Photoshop than if it were over some complicated piece of landscape here, because the water is easy to clone and paint out ugly things. I like lens flare in certain locations, but not screwing up my jagged rocks and stuff down here. So if I shoot this right, the lens flare should end up being in the water somewhere, and I can just paint it out. So don't be surprised if I break the rule of thirds and put this shot right down the middle. like to do a few shots before the actual sunset because you never know what you're going to get. That looks good. Now the sun's kind of busting through and then getting blocked and busting through and getting blocked. That is very hard for me to show you, but it's getting low, but there's these little lines of clouds which is really going to make for some interesting shots, so I'm just going to keep shooting. Anyone interested in what I'm using, I got a Canon 7D. I'm using my Tokina 11-16 wide angle lens. My settings, I'm shooting at f/14, ISO 100. I'm bracketing my shots, as you can see right here. So my shutter speed is going to be all over the place because of the changing light. This is going to be a good sunset shot. You can see how low the sun is right now. It's just going to start touching the top of the mountain that's going to obscure it. So I'm going to be taking a lot of shots and making a lot of adjustments to the shutter speed. 3 right here. I like it. Want to see? The sun has just gone down behind that hill. But now, this is where we wait for a few minutes. And all of these clouds up here, right here, they're going to start to change. They're going to get weird colors like you're on LSD or something. It's going to be cool. My composition isn't exactly what I wanted, but I can't move the clouds right over the lake. You know, they are where they are. So my shots are going to be, there's going to be a big empty space here, because of where the sun went down and where the colors are starting to form, where the water is. I mean, I got to try to get the best of everything. Okay, here we go. Look at the colors. I'm changing my composition a little bit as the colors are changing and the clouds are moving. I'll have a few good shots at the end of this. I'd show you the area where I've been. It's actually quite nice. Some nice trees. You know, I like pine trees. And pretty much the light's done. No more pretty colors. Now I've got to hike up here. It's not too far, but there's some steep areas. So if you scare easily in the woods at night, then landscape photography is not for you. So this is what I'm talking about, the hike out. I've got to go down there and then back up there. It doesn't look like much, but it's pretty damn steep with all of this stuff. Anyway, here we go. I just realized something while I was halfway up this hill. I was wondering why I was so tired, you know? And then I remembered twice a week I only consume 600 calories a day. And today is one of those days, and I've only had 300 of those 600, so I don't have a lot of energy, so I'm ready to have my other 300 calories right now. Fortunately, once I get to the car, I don't have far to drive. Things look very different in the dark. I got about 3 different pathways here. I gotta pick the right one. It's a nice shuttle lake, but this position is not conducive to getting a sunset because it's pointed in the wrong direction. I got as close as I could, but I think next time I might leave about an hour earlier and try to get a little further to the north and a little lower to the water, and then I think everything will line up just right. Talking of things looking scary, check out the moon. That's a pretty good picture, except I can't push the shutter, so I'll get it later. That's what I got when I go back to my car. Somebody apparently was having sex up here. Disgusting.